okay?
You're a really beautiful lady.
Make it a double. All right, I'm sitting here with one of my heroes, Sir Curtis Armstrong.
Not sir.
Oh, come on.
Really? No. It was all a rumor.
It's all a rumor?
Yeah. About my knighthood. Oh. It's not true.
Them Brits doing it to us again.
Well, you can call me sir if you want. I don't care. Yeah.
Now, you're actually an expert on Harry Nilson music. How did that come about? Like, what made you...
Because I loved his music. And then I was trying to put together a documentary on Harry, and I started calling his label in New York. And this was back in the 90s, right after he died. And they said to come in, whenever I was in town. And the next time I went in, I was talking to them, and they asked me if I would co-produce the re-release of Harry's albums, because I knew a lot about him and I could write the liner notes and pick out bonus tracks and all that sort of thing, and that's what I did. And I did that for 8 years. I would go every year to New York, spend 3 days listening to tapes and writing the liner notes and interviewing people. And it was great fun,
I bet you really got to hear some rare stuff, too, as well.
Oh, yeah. That was the best part. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of unreleased. In fact, they were supposed to release a 17-disc box set this year, and because they had contacted me about it for advice on certain things, and they were releasing all of the unreleased stuff that we had found. But I just heard 2 weeks ago that the whole project has been canceled, so not happening. Who's buying CDs?
Another connection you have to this comic book sci-fi world is you actually got a chance to play the Joker in the OnStar commercial.
That's right. That was the man who was executive producer of Revenge of the Nerds. Was the man who was producing that series, the OnStar, Peter McGregor Scott, his name is. And I went in, and it was weird because I had to read as the Joker. And this was right after they did the movie with Jack Nicholson. And they just... I was completely unrecognizable. It's the real makeup. It's the Joker makeup. But, I did one of the three, and it was incredibly long process to get all of it on and everything, but it was fun. And I've never seen it, actually. I'm told that it's on... I never saw it on TV, and I have been told it's on the internet somewhere, but I've never looked it up.
Everything's on the internet these days.
God help us, yes.
One of the final things is you're actually a Sherlock Holmes buff too. So,
is there no end to the ridiculous interests? I am a Sherlockian. I have been an admirer of the books since I was 10, and was inducted into the Baker Street Irregulars, which is the international society. About 7 years ago. And so I've been writing articles about it for journals and that kind of thing, and going around different conventions, not conventions like this, Sherlock Holmes symposiums, that kind of thing. And so Sherlock Holmes is one of the great passions, hobbies, whatever.
Do you think that the Guy Ritchie did a good job with the two films?
Well, I love them. I think they were really funny. It's not Sherlock Holmes. It's certainly not my idea of Sherlock Holmes. On the other hand, whereas a lot of Sherlockians think they're horrible movies and, despise them, they've really done their homework on that, and they put in little private jokes or references that only Sherlockians would get. And I really think they're a lot of fun. I mean, as I say, Sherlock Holmes is in my head and has been since I was young, and it has nothing to do with him. But I've never really seen the Sherlock Holmes in my head portrayed by anyone. As good as so many of them are, what is in my head is in my head. And so I don't go to see any of these things expecting to see my Sherlock Holmes. You know, I mean the BBC one, the modern day one, the Sherlock, brilliant show. I mean, it's a great show. Is it my Sherlock Holmes? No. But I love watching it just because in a way, the weirder and more outre these things are, in some ways, the better it is for me, because I know that no one can do it really right. They can come close, and some can. You know, the Jeremy Brett series was fantastic. There are people who can do really marvelous things, but ultimately, when I open the stories and I read the stories, that's something which is in my head that no one will ever replace.
Now, finally, what have you got on the horizon? Because you're working all the time.
I've been doing a regular series on or appearances on The Closer, which actually just ended in January, month before last. So I was doing that for a while, and I've got 2 movies coming out later this year. One is called High School with Michael Chiklis and Adrian Brody, and Matt Bush. And then a sequel to a movie I did a couple of years ago called Route 30, which is one of my favorite movies ever that I've done. In fact, I'd say it's my favorite, the movie that I love the most of all movies I've done is a movie called Route 30, directed by John Putch. And we did that 2 years ago. It's on DVD. It's not a theater release. And we did the sequel last year to that, which is coming out this year.
All right, well,
there is a Scotch and soda somewhere with my name on it.
let's make it a double.
Let's do that.
All right, and then we're going to get working on that knighthood. Thank you so much, sir.